Welcome to Success Superstars, your place for inspiration and the blueprint of success for peak performers just like you. My special guests today, Sarah and Stephen George. Welcome.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark. Great to see you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, greetings from Austin, Texas. Now, Austin, Texas is in the news all over the world, quite frankly. You're in a hot market.
We definitely are. We feel it here for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, it's hot here. Everybody wants to live in Austin.
Well, and all the jobs are coming there. Now, you're near the Lake Travis area. What's special about Lake Travis?
Yeah, well, we love where we live. We are actually in the beginning of the hill country by Lake Travis. And what's nice about it is it has really the landscape is what's the biggest selling point here. Just to be near water, have the rolling hills. You feel like you have a little bit of green space. You're not on top of each other like this, right, like downtown. But yeah, it's a beautiful place to live. It's a great place with so many great different little pocket communities throughout. Yeah, for sure. And Travis is a historic name back to the Alamo. So if you get a chance after the show, if you're an audience member, check out that history from the Alamo. Now, you've served, typically you're helping 25 families buy, sell, or invest a year in real estate. That's a pretty phenomenal number. How have you built such a successful business?
Yeah, absolutely. So, so I guess Sarah started in real estate 5 years ago. And our approach is really a combination of things. One is to be authentic, so we strive to just be as honest and transparent with our clients as possible. And most importantly, to treat everyone like family. So if you're treating everyone like they're a sibling, a brother, a sister, or a parent, you really do remove yourself from the situation and put their best interests in mind. And so we try to anticipate the unexpected, because it definitely happens in real estate. Sometimes it works out in your client's favor. Other times it's just an opportunity to overcome an obstacle and identify the best path forward. And so that's kind of the way that we operate and work, and it goes back to, I guess, our background. Sarah and I, when we met a long time ago, we both worked in the service industry, and almost 20 years ago now.
Okay, don't age us. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's been at the heart of what we do. We treat everyone like family, and we try to ensure that they have a great experience, and that we, tackle as many potential pain points before they possibly come up.
Yeah, what a great approach to basically treat all of your customers just as if they were a family member. That can be a competitive advantage. Now, Sarah, you started in the business first and rapidly had success, and that's when you needed help, and Stephen came in. How did you determine that you needed more help to keep your business growing?
So it honestly, I knock on wood, when I started, the day I got my license, I had, within the first week, I probably had about 4 different friends reach out that needed help buying and selling, which was honestly fantastic. That's not the norm, but because of that, I really just kind of, got thrown in and had to kind of sink or swim. So I learned very quickly, and with that, as I was getting more and more business and working and learning the ins and outs, I would reach out and kind of bounce things off Stephen. So Stephen's originally, he started in the tech industry, and so on the program side. And so he's just great at bouncing off certain ideas. He has a different way of thinking than I do. And so it was really helpful to have somebody that I could, when I'm feeling a certain way, I could go through and talk to him about it, and he could give me a completely different perspective. So as I was doing that, just a normal, work chat after work around the dinner table, I realized, that he needed to get his license and start helping me out, because we have two very different perspectives, we can really understand our clients that much better. And so that was really the shifting point for me in needing that additional help.
And leveraging each other's unique strengths. Your strengths are different than Stephen's, and Stephen's are different than yours.
Exactly.
So, and I'd just add to that, I would say, with Sarah, like Sarah has great intuition. She has definitely like a design eye, which for me, you drop me in a room and I'll tell you descriptive things. Like there's a fireplace, there's,
Right.
And so for me, that's like a skill set you really can't buy, so work ethic and things of that nature can be developed. But I guess I was going to say, so Sarah ended up getting to the point where she realized in order to really support her clients, she was going to need to expand. And we were already discussing work together, and we both have a passion for real estate. And so it's just a natural transition that just happened over time. And fortunately, it's worked out really well for us. We try to ensure that with our communication to clients that we're both accessible, and that we try to ensure that we are streamlining our communication as much as possible. So one of the best compliments we'll get from people is, hey, like we never had to explain ourselves twice working with you both. And it was always super smooth, no matter who was helping.
Right.
And so that's really important to us.
Yeah. So tell me though, as a working couple, you have a relationship, you have your business. How do you keep the boundaries and the relationship strong and the business strong? Have you struggled with separating and keeping those things strong, both your relationship and your business?
So, I
don't know who wants to answer that question.
I'm going to say, who's going to go first on this one?
That's a $1 million question here. No, I think, initially it was a transition because, you're spending all your time together. I mean, it's like what we've all been through the last year with the pandemic. You're in a house with your family all the time. And so, that was a transition of not just being together during home time, but also being together during work time. But we were able to separate really well. Like we realized very quickly what each of our strengths were. And we were able to, so certain things that worked with him or that he was good at, he could kind of go off and do with clients, a lot of it having to do with investment numbers, all that, which is his strong suit, whereas I could talk more on the negotiating side, contracts, that kind of thing. So we learned really well to separate that, but also come together so we all knew where we were at. And that helped a lot, just having honestly different jobs within what we were doing.
Right.
So we weren't overlapping and honestly getting on each other's nerves. But then at home, real estate is one of these jobs where it's not a 9 to 5. You don't really have an off switch. And we have young kids. So it's constantly, juggling, getting our daughter to softball, getting our, son here and then, getting back to our clients and showing home. So that was also the advantage of working together is we could kind of tag team on those things. So it really has, I feel like it's made us a lot stronger as a couple because we've realized separately we've been able to be successful separately and successful as a couple, successful in business, but also have our own separate jobs within the business. So I feel like it's made us extremely strong as a couple.
I would agree with that. I mean, we, just from a relationship perspective, we've always had a great, fortunately, strong relationship. And I really enjoy spending time with my family and with Sarah as both a business partner. And so I think it's brought us closer together, fortunately. We kind of ensure that we are both balancing the stresses of our business and I guess just ensuring that we're treating each other in a professional manner, respectfully, and that doesn't change, right? Your relationship with your partner is, it's something we've always kind of invested in, and we've just ensured that, like Sarah mentioned, that we balance our skill sets for for the task at hand and for whatever's coming up.
Yeah, that's great. Now, you had your best year ever during a global pandemic. Now, with children at home, total, lockdowns, all the different procedures we had to go through, how did you adapt? How did you pivot? How did you, whatever word you want to do, stay in positive action so you could serve your clients who needed homes during this very tough time?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us it was, I mean, obviously nobody knew a year ago around this time that we were going to be still in this a year later. Right. So yeah, it was definitely a challenge. We work with a lot of relocation clients. So we're actually originally from California, Northern California. So we've always kind of gotten those type of clients. And honestly, when the pandemic hit, a lot of those people that were stuck in small, confined little apartments in San Francisco wanted out. They didn't know how long they'd be working from home. So we pivoted a lot on that side of kind of focusing a little bit more toward that relocation niche. And also with that, people couldn't fly. They couldn't get on airplanes to look at homes. We were doing, Zoom and video tours, live video walkthroughs. We had 3 or 4 clients that we got under contract and closed, and they didn't see the house until they moved in. So, and that was a huge trust thing for us. And honestly, those are probably my proudest transactions to date, because it just showed how much that they trust us to be able to find the home. I mean, it was definitely stressful. Right. I kept thinking, I don't hate this, but it just showed how much that our clients, the way that we interact with our clients, how much trust they have in us to make sure that, their next step that they aren't able to even see in person is going to be the correct one. So, right. So that was a pivot for us in that. And then on the family side, it was a lot of, we've done it before. We're a family business. So I've taken kids on showings. Like I always let my clients know if they're okay with it. I've had, my children go on showings with me. We kind of had to, pivot that way. Luckily, we live in an amazing neighborhood where our neighbors are literally like our family. And so we've been able to, honestly, they had stepped up and helped us if we both had to do showings or something had come up. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a transition year, but we're so grateful for all of the trust that our clients had in us, because that just made our job so much more fulfilling in the end.
Well, even the technology, what we're seeing is some of the technology that you're talking about, Zoom walkthroughs, virtual walkthroughs, is actually being used now to pretty effectively do open houses, for instance. We're seeing actually now that virtual open houses are getting more traffic and more exposure to the seller than a traditional open house. So many of our associates have started to do more. Every home is now a virtual open house where they actually walk through and do a guided tour and getting actually more traffic for the sellers using that.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a great tool. We noticed such a shift in, social media, all of that has been there. But we just noticed such a shift, especially during the pandemic, of people using different methods to look at properties and even marketing. And the way our marketing is done is very different now than it was a year ago. And so I feel like buyers are more willing to look at those different avenues, and they feel more confident in their purchases based on those type of things. So I think it's great.
Yeah. Now, folks are looking to send a referral to you guys in the Austin area and in Lake Travis. How's the best way to get a hold of you?
So we are social media wise. We do a lot on social media, and that's where I would probably direct everybody. Okay. So we're Dwell ATX Realty Group. So it's DWELL ATX Realty Group. And we're on both Facebook and Instagram. And then we have a website as well. But yeah, I mean, we just love what we do, and we feel very passionate about helping people in the Austin area that are looking to buy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, so as we wrap up this episode, is there anything that you'd like to share with the audience that we haven't covered?
Anything?
I would say just be passionate about what you do. like the thing that we overlook is we're helping people through a really major transition in their lives, right? Either buying their first property, selling a home to upgrade or downgrade, buying that second investment property. So it's a really important transition and milestone.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're extremely passionate about what you do, the rest comes with that. You develop the skill sets, you ensure that you're putting your clients' needs first. And so that would be my overall observation.
Yeah.
And definitely have a strategy, goals, and plans as well. But that would be my general summary.
And I agree. I think to add to that quickly, I would just say be authentic. Don't compare yourself to other people out there. That's a whole rabbit hole you just don't want to go down.
Right.
Be authentic, be yourself. And with that comes the trust and honestly the business of additional clients. So I feel like if you're yourself, people feel that they feel comfortable with you and they want to work with you. So.
Yeah, being authentic and not trying to be somebody else. And then I think the last thing is as a working couple, really to separate those job duties like you have, so it's clear and there's no conflict.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. And that's something that we just kind of realized. It wasn't something we had planned to do, but it worked out because we really were able to, instead of trying to because it happens even when you're on a different team. You don't want to work on top of each other. It's better to have those, separate duties and jobs.
Yeah, for sure. And Stephen, you mentioned, the home is one of the biggest investments they make. And many times we forget that the mortgage is just as important as the home purchase. And here at JPAR Brokerage, we have a great initiative called IntraLend where lenders compete, consumers choose, and they get to pick from the 3 best bids. So I encourage people to check out IntraLend Exceeds. Well, with that, this has been a great episode. I appreciate you all joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank
you, Mark.
Thank you.
Definitely appreciate it. And if anyone needs help in the Austin area or surrounding area, we'd absolutely love to help.
Yeah, absolutely.
So by all means, reach out to us.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see you all at our latest office opening in Round Rock, Texas, coming up in early April, one of our newest expansion offices. So we're excited to offer that to the Austin community as we expand our service in your area. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon. That's a wrap for this episode. And until we see you again, may your choices reflect your hopes and not your fears. Take care.